All right, guys, this is my first morning back at the lodge. What I mean by that, technically, this is my second morning, first normal morning. The first morning back was with Kyle, my friend, that helped me dig out a lot of stuff. And this morning, Bonnie and Emma are here. It's kind of our first normal morning, but it's not normal because we have a lot of work to do, a lot of things to dig out, such as our power shed here. This is where we have our batteries, the inverter, and the charge controller and all that. And I've got to dig it out, but I want to show you guys something. You guys can see the solar panels up on the hillside behind the shop there. I cleared a little bit of snow off of them yesterday. We're not getting a lot of sunlight, but what we are getting is that's what's coming in on the solar panels. 86.3 volts, 101 watts, 103 watts, somewhere in there, 1.2 amps. That's what's feeding the batteries right now. The batteries down in here. I am super happy. They wintered very well while we were gone. It was a test run, and it was kind of scary because doing a test run on this expensive of a unit was not something I was super excited about. But I covered all my bases. I did a lot of research. I talked to the pros and did what I was supposed to do. And they look really good. Now, the one thing that we're going to have to do on the batteries, now that they've been sitting for 4 months, they've been taking a slight charge, but not a lot. I need to kind of charge them hot to break off the, what do they call it? The plates in the batteries essentially start corroding a little bit and building up. And so we need to charge them hot to break that off. And that'll be the next step. Once we get everything dug out, I'll show you here real quick. Right outside the door of the power shed, the generator is under this pile of snow. So I've got to dig that off so that we can turn that on and start running that. But I came in here last night and I turned the inverter on for the first time in 4 months. And once it powered up, I flicked on the AC out breaker, and that gives power to the lodge and to our cabin. And we have powered our cabin right now. We were able to plug our cell phones in, plug our some other things in that needed charged. We even turned the TV on and watched a little family movie last night with Emma. So I'm going to get after shoveling. There's a lot to do, and I'm going to save some for Zach. He's not home yet. I've got to go pick him up at the trailhead in a couple days, and we'll explain more about that later. But a lot of shoveling coming up. Looking forward to getting back to lodge life and life out in the wilderness here. Day 3 of being home. Bonnie helped me tackle some of the snow removal yesterday, and we are at it again today. This alleyway, I'm getting shoveled out, and a lot of people ask us, why are you removing so much snow? I'll give you 2 main reasons. The first one is comfort. See how the snow is blocking the windows? And if we let it keep going, all of Zach and Alyssa's southern exposed windows here are completely blocked by the sun with the falling snow. And it doesn't go anywhere until mid-April when it starts really starting to melt. So just for mental state of mind and well-being, we try to keep the snow removed out of here. The second reason why we get rid of the snow in this alley, we call this the alley, is to keep the roof shoveled off. In case we get a record amount of snowfall and it's too much weight for the roof, we got to get it off of there. We typically shovel the roof off at least once a winter because we do get on average of somewhere around 150 to 200 inches of snowfall every winter. So keeping this alleyway cleared is crucial for mental health and the lodge health, so the roof doesn't cave in. There is Zach and Alyssa's back door, and there's a little window right there. It's all covered. So I've got to get all of this snow out and push it over the edge. Bonnie and Emma are over there, I believe by that outhouse, and shoveling a path, or at least steps, down into the outhouse and out in front of the door. The snow is pretty deep. I don't know. This is a drifted part, so I'll lean up against it here. You can see it's up past my belly button. But again, this is a drifted part. I think on the level we have somewhere around 2.5 to 3 feet of snow. Enough talking about snow. I'm gonna get back to scooping this stuff and opening up Zach's back doorway and the wood box that's right here. What are you up to?
I'm eating snow.
Looks like you're sitting in Mama's work spot. She's digging out the porch here, and you're just eating snow, all comfy in your little comfy spot.
Good helping. Hey, what happened to the back of your snow pants?
I know.
Let me see. Did you slide down some sharp snow? What happened then?
I just slide down the set down there because it was bumpy.
It was bumpy.
Yeah. This is not that heavy. I can carry it just once.
Okay.
I'm the size ball.
Oh, perfect. That looks like a snowball.
Get ready, Mama.
No. How's it going, babe?
Going. One small scoop for mankind, or man. One giant scoop for mankind. Something like that.
I heard it both ways.
Yeah, I've heard both ways. Now, I've talked about this before. My dad would always tell me 1 scoop at a time gets the job done. And boy, is it ever true out here.
Hey, are you helping?
I don't know about that.
All right, we're trying to get this big bank moved right there, so we can see out their windows.
Oh, you are helping. Good job.
All right, back to work.
Well, that was easy enough. Got out here just in time. The sun is just breaking over the horizon there. Man, what a gorgeous morning. I love these mornings. It is cold. It is -5 Fahrenheit this morning, and pretty chilly. Although it can get colder, this is the coldest it's been since I've been home so far. You can feel it when you take a deep breath. Woo! It's like you've just popped an entire pack of spearmint gum or peppermint gum into your mouth, and you take that deep breath, and it's like, woo! Kind of invigorating. It's good. It's not until it gets down to about -20, -15, -20 that it starts hurting when you take a deep breath. So there's a fine line there. I know a lot of you are saying I'm crazy for loving this weather, but it is truly invigorating. And on top of, you know, the cold and whether or not you like the cold or not, in the winter, usually it's sunny when it is cold. So I'll take the cold if that means I get to see the sun. I'm loving it. I'm in the lodge now, and I'm going to get a fire going, and I've got with me my helper.
Hi.
She is bundled up as I am bundled up. It is super cold in the lodge, right? Yeah. The sun is shining through, so it acts like a greenhouse in here. It will get a bit warmer on a day like today. Zach is coming home tomorrow, so I am getting a fire going today because it'll take all of today and probably a good part of tomorrow to get the lodge here nice and warm, to drive that cold back out through the walls, back out through the floor and everything, and warm everything up. Then when Zach gets home, I will help him fill his water tank, hook up the pump, reconnect any lines that we disconnected to winterize them, and we'll get it all squared away.
All right, quite the day yesterday. Supposed to be home yesterday. Staying here at some friend's cabin in Talkeetna and scheduled meeting Joe and loading up snowmobile sleds and cruising home. And then the truck wouldn't start. So it was one time it didn't start for Joe. Joe and Bonnie beat me home by about a week, and the truck wouldn't start for Joe one time. Then it wouldn't start for me again yesterday. So turns out I needed a new starter. Long story. I could go into how much of a blessing it was that a friend of mine just happened to be walking by his cabin when he saw me trying to start the truck and got it started for me. The solenoid and the starter are shot. So I drove all the way back into Wasilla yesterday and did a starter install with a good buddy Dennis, who helped me in his warm garage with all the tools that I didn't have and needed to do said install. So here I am, round 2, back in Talkeetna, getting ready to get all bundled up and cruise home. And I've got Pippin and Alyssa and the kids will be home in a few days. So let's see how this week goes. Woo woo!
There's Joe. He is fixing the antenna and the cell booster. How's it going, babe?
Oh, it's going. It's more of a jerry rig than a fix right now. I don't have all the parts and pieces that I need, but we want to definitely get the phone up and running, and we can't do that without the Wii boost here. And then the TV antenna up there is just a little perk. We might get to watch the Super Bowl. So hopefully I can get it fixed.
Hi, what are you up to this morning?
I'm playing in the snow.
Sounds like fun. What do you like better, Alaska or Florida?
Definitely Florida.
What?
Yes, because it's warmer.
Thought you were so excited about the snow.
Because I get to eat the snow, but I'm still cold.
Okay.
All right, moment of truth. Let's go see if the truck starts. I'm not nervous. I'm confident that what Dennis and I accomplished last night was enough to get old Betsy running smooth again. So let's see. Back on the road again. The battery is super new. Everything seems to go smooth. Here we go. Boom, baby. Now I finally get to go home, sleep in my own bed for the first time in over 4 months. It's cold. It's windy. It's a little breezy. Filling up propane bottles last night in Wasilla, and the wind was just whipping. And I'm like, it's good to be home. It's cozy. So I'm sleeping in my own bed tonight, and then yeah, get to haul water with Joe. So that's exciting. All right, I am home. Got all the canned goods here in the living room. Did great. Just emptied out a bunch of mail and Amazon packages here. Pippin's happy to be home. And Joe is getting my pump hooked up so we can haul water. I told you we were hauling water today.
It's one of our many joys out here.
Man, there's really nothing wrong here at the house. Everything went really well. Joe maybe covered it. You covered in any footage?
A little bit.
The Wi-Fi box and
Talk a lot.
a couple other things like that. Other than that, man, this place is just pristine and warm thanks to the fire. But awesome. Good to be home. Hey, Bo. What you doing? He's had some separation issues since returning home, huh? All right. Well, we are home. In fact, Alyssa's getting ready for the water totes. As always, Joe's down on the lake hauling water.
And I'm ready to sled.
Eiley, Chloe, and Emma are doing what they're supposed to do.
Playing in the snow.
Playing on a snow day. You can see Joe way down there on the lake. And yeah, just kind of getting back into the rhythm here. I got myself and my trusty red Columbia jacket, just like you guys always see me pretty much in every episode, because 3/4 of our episodes are in the winter anyway. Little ball of sun up there, and it's just almost whiteout conditions. That little sun goes away, you can't see any definition in shadows and in the trail and stuff. Just spent the morning shoveling off the deck, shoveling out so I can haul some firewood. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of, it's good getting back into the swing of things. I was a little grumpy the other day when Joe and I hauled water. I've been home for about 5 days now. This will be the second day we're hauling water. And Joe was grumpy. It was just like, it was dumping snow, and you know, we're digging out the water hole, and then we both had to remember, keep it in perspective that it's February and not October or November. So we did skip out on half of winter, which is nice. I mean, you know, winter is, it can be magical and fluffy and warm and filled with hot chocolate. But when we got 8 months of winter, that was super cool to be able to go travel around. And thanks guys for following us along on our journey. We kind of took a little hiatus from vlogging just because just wanted to really spend the last little bit of our trip just with family and not with this high production crew, you know, in the film and the microphones in our face all the time. So lots going on. We are replacing the roofs on all 3 cabins. So we've got lumber coming up to the trailhead. Kyle is going to help us do some demo and remodel. It's going to be a big upgrade for those cabins. It's going to look sharp. So we'll be sure to do some before and after photos. Got to go to town again. Got to get a freight sled. Potentially, we're definitely actively looking for a newer snowmobile. Hoping to pull the trigger on one. So we just need a newer machine with a lot of power. And you know, we've been blessed with a good year last year with the lodge. So we're finally able to put that in our budget. We've been looking for a new snowmobile for quite some time. Looking good. Got to haul water up to the holding tank up there, so she's clearing me a path. It doesn't have to be too wide. You could just get the width of the shovel if you want. My kids are turning into big helpers. That old goat of a machine, that's a 1995 Ski-Doo Scandic. So in what, 2025, it'll be 30 years old. Man, it runs kind of rough, but it's an amazing machine. We put a lot of miles on it. We put about 500 or 600 miles per year on it. So I'm just coming down here to help Joe haul some water so we can do laundry. Back in the saddle again. Getting back into the swing of things. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. I hate hauling water. You guys know that. But it's not a bad chore considering everything. So
we got a lot of good practice hauling water with RVs.
we did.
Because we're already kind of good at it.
We are. It involves hoses. It involves putting it into holding tanks with 12-volt pumps and all that. We know all about that. Whether we're wintering or summering or in between.
In betweening. Quite the blustery day. The snow is pretty relentless. Tiny, tiny little flakes, but it keeps piling up on the deck and almost time to scoop the deck again.
Kids are getting ready to do some sledding.
That looked pretty great.
That was pretty great.
I fear that they're going to go too fast and Emma's going to get a face full of snow.
I could probably move my sled. And your feeling was right.
At least she had her mask on and her balaclava. Nice run. Good solid run. Nice.
Smooth.
Simple but smooth. We'll see
Chloe.
Chloe.
All right, Chloe.
See if she can't best me on the speed there. When Eiley used that sled, she had a really good run. Good time, good form. Looks like Chloe's got a strong start. A little wobbly. She's got it back on track here. Oh! What happened?
I don't know. I don't know how to steer very well. Bramante brothers.